I'm H.L.Quist. Glad to talk to you again. Are you tired of gloom and doom? Well, I've got some good news for you today, and I'm sure all of America would like to hear some good news. It's all been gloom and doom around us. I am forecasting an upturn, a substantial upturn in retail sales that will impact the third and the fourth quarter this year, particularly around Christmas time. Now, what's the basis for all this optimism? I mean, retail sales, of course, have been the dirge of our economy. But they are 70% of the GDP, so this is a critical aspect of our economy. The TALF, T-A-L-F, that's the Term Asset-Backed Securities Lending Facility, all these acronyms. What this has just been organized. In fact, it's effective on I believe, the 17th of March. The Federal Reserve is going to loan up to $1 trillion to hedge funds and investor groups that are formed for this purpose, and they're going to use this money to buy securitized or collateralized consumer debt. Those are automobile loans, credit cards, those could be student loans, equipment leasing, business loans. The purpose of it, of course, is to provide credit to the consumer and get this economy going. So I think it's going to meet that goal. Also, you remember a couple months ago, I wrote the bond bubble. All this money, this $8 or $9 trillion that's been sought a safe haven in U.S. Treasuries, making 2 or 3%. Well, this is an opportunity for that money to come out of the bond market, the Treasuries, and into these investor funds, because these groups are expecting returns of 12 to 16%. And here's the kicker, is that these funds, these loans will be guaranteed by the federal government. You and I are going to guarantee all these car loans and student loans and so forth. Now, there's another thing that's working here. There's a confluence of a lot of different factors that comes into play here. The other is that another piece of legislation that was passed was the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act, effective February 10th. And this is in response to all the toxic resins and what do they call them, the phtalates, all of these toxins that are in plastics and so forth that we found, of course, are injurious to children and to all people, as a matter of fact. Anyway, this prohibits all of these, or determines that all of these products are now illegal. In the Wall Street Journal article recently, it said that $1.5 trillion of product that has lead and has these phtalates, these plastic in it that are toxic, are already in the United States or sitting in ships out on the West Coast, and they cannot be sold. They have got to be returned, or they have got to be modified in some way or destroyed. So what it means is that there's going to be a shortage of consumer products, particularly toys, at Christmas time. Now, the other factor that I see this confluence coming to play is that for the past 3 or 4 or 5 months, people have been saving money. They haven't been spending money. In fact, the savings rate increased 5% in the month of January. Well, by summertime, people will have saved up some funds and have ready cash available, which they haven't had, of course. In addition, then the stimulus plan is going to start to kick in this summer, in this fall. People will be getting rebates and checks and increased in income and so forth. And those people are going to spend it. That's lower income people, middle class people and so forth. There's going to be a pent-up demand, and they're not going to want to, and Christmas time they're going to want to provide particularly toys for their children. So anyway, all this added together could result in substantial increase in consumer sales, in retail sales. And we know, and you know, that retail stores, the Merwins and Linen and Things and Circuit City and all these chains that have closed, there's thousands of them. Plus the mom and pops and all the retail centers across the country have closed. And those that are in business have reduced their inventory back to just bare minimums. So you see the picture that's emerging here are a classic supply-demand deficit. And what happens then? Manufacturers and consumers and retail outlets get pricing power and profits, and that starts the flow going. The downside, of course, is inflation. And, of course, we know that's what the politicians want. That's what the Federal Reserve wants. That's what the Treasury wants, is to create inflation to head off this devastating deflationary recession that we're embroiled in. So that's the picture. It's a positive one. And I believe it will work and this will come to pass. Now, what I want you to do is to get the full information, go to my blog, which is The Aftermath of Greed. That's the title of my book. Aftermath of Greed, all written together, dash, updates, UPDATES, .blogspot, blogspot.com, and you'll get all this information. Enjoyed visiting with you today. I hope this good news will increase your optimism to the markets ahead, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.